Alright, you guys, Barcelona beat Villarreal 2-0 while playing some of the most terrible defending that they have put together all season, and honestly, we just have to talk about it. But first, if this is your first time seeing one of my videos, hi guys, I am JustMax, and on this channel I talk about football, La Liga, the Prem, UCL, everything. And of course, it's always going to be Vishka Barca for me on this channel. If this is something that you are interested in, please stick around, be my friend, be my homie, and let's dive into this game. Starting off, Hansi Flick put together as strong as an 11 that he could, muster given the situation. We did hear that Pedri had a muscle issue or an overload of some sort and therefore would not be available. We did end up hearing that Andreas Christensen had a partial ACL tear. So we knew that the starting 11 was going to be slightly impacted, but also not overly dramatical as well. So in goal, it was Joan Garcia, whom we expected after taking a rest from the Copa del Rey match. We did see Alejandro Balde come into that left back position for Barcelona. Again, this is something that is standard at this point. We are continuing our experiment with Gerard Martin and Pau Kubasi in the centre back position. Jules Koundé did end up playing in right back, although he did end up getting substituted. I think he has an injury, some sort of a muscle issue. Again, Barcelona's backline in this match, we'll talk about it. It's going to be the focal point of some of our discussions today. Frankie de Jong and Eric Garcia partnered together in the midfield position. It was Rafinha, Fermin Lopez, Lamine Yamal in the forward position for Barcelona, with Ferran Torres rounding out Barcelona's attack. And let me tell you, when this game started, I was flabbergasted by how lethargical Barcelona players seemed. They seem exhausted, they seem tired. They seem like they did not know that the game had started. I think that's the best and nicest way you could say it. It was almost as if to say that the game was being played in slow motions. And the last time I experienced this kind of game was when I was watching Real Madrid play, and I think it was either the game against Celta Vigo or Elche, that it just seemed to me like they just didn't have the energy to run. Everything just seemed so slow. The passage of play, it wasn't right. Like, that's the best way I could say it. There just something did not feel right and complete in this Barcelona match. And of course, in a game where Barcelona are very much determined to play a high line, you're going to end up getting chances. Even though, yes, Barcelona did have a lion's share of the ball possessions in that first half, I felt like the ball possession was skewing towards 70-30 at some point in the game. But at the end of the day, it was Villarreal who we are putting together some of the more dangerous chances that could have easily opened the scoring lineup for them. I think on several occasions, Joan Garcia had to be called into action for Barcelona in that first half, and also there was opportunities there where Villarreal could have taken a better shot, or their attackers could have even, just taken the time a little bit more, but they seemed a bit rushed, and then they end up skying the ball away. As I kept on watching that first half, alarm bells were ringing. Listen to me. I don't think there is a world where I see Barcelona not participating in this January transfer window. It just doesn't make sense to me. The Barcelona defense today, it was terrible. I've seen bad defending from Barcelona. I've been watching them for many years. I've been watching Hansi Flick consistently since the last 2 seasons now that he's been our coach. I've seen the high line get exposed. I watched the game against Sevilla. I saw what happened in Sevilla when Sevilla were just very, very clinical on the day, and they just did what needed to be done after when they exposed our high line. But when I tell you that I've never seen the defending this bad, it's not that they were being cut off. It was the fact that they didn't have any energy to run. It was that, the recovery runs were not given. Like, one of the things that I liked about this Barcelona is like, yeah, you might catch them, but they would try, they would chase you, and it just wasn't there. So the idea that Barcelona will not be participating in this winter transfer, it doesn't, no. We've had conversation about Barcelona looking into the situation of Crystal Palace's Maguire, and of course Schlichter back from Dortmund. And conversations have always been about, do Barcelona bring them or activate them during the summer transfer window? I don't think we can wait that long. With Araujo still dealing with his mental health, and Andreas Christensen would have been a good option for Barcelona, but he's always injured. Like on the days he plays, he's a very, very good defender, but he's barely ever fit. Like right now he has a partial ACL tear, which we don't even know how long he's going to be out. So the idea that we will not be getting a defender, it just doesn't make sense to me. And I know that many of Barcelona's problems has not come because of a lack of willingness. It's more of a financial issue, a La Liga FFP, you know, and the kind of constraints that they've been put under the last few seasons, and the ability to participate really well to the best of their abilities. However, this is desperate times. This is really dire. We cannot afford to not do this. We have to get a defender, someone with a bit of experience to lead the backline. Kubasi has been doing a very good job so far, but he's 18 years old. Like, I think a lot of people forget how young Pau Kubasi is. Like, he's 18 years old and he celebrated 100 games for Barcelona. He's a good player. I love him down, but we need a player who can actually lead the backline, and it's not giving that right now. Today was very terrible, but somehow we have kept a clean sheet, and I think the best thing that Barcelona ever did is bringing in a goalkeeper. And I know, like, when Barcelona fans over the summer transfer were saying, hey, we need to sign Joan Garcia, non-La Liga watchers were looking at like, what are you guys talking about? But you can see that level of comfort that he brings to the defense and the back line. Like, even though when we mess up, we have a goalkeeper who is in place who can clean up some of those mistakes. That's what a goalkeeper like Joan Garcia gives you. There was opportunity for Villarreal to take the lead, and he just said, not on my watch today. Like I said in my premise to this video, I said we've played some of the worst defending I've ever seen, but it's so funny that we've actually kept a clean sheet. It's so funny because it just happened. There was an opportunity where Villarreal had very one-on-one chance with the goalkeeper. He wouldn't have known that the player was offside at the end, but his outstretched arm just basically diverts the ball away from goal. And these are some of the like little tangible things that he brings. The fact that he's able to make the save first, and then we ask question of whether he was offside or not, because a good percentage of the time, right, some of these players may be slightly offside or slightly onside. To the naked eyes, it might look to you like, oh, they are offside. But then if they're able to put the ball in the back of the net, and then we go to a review and then we see, oh, it's actually onside, then you see that it's a goal. So the fact that he's able to make those saves, and then we are like having to have a debate of whether or not the person is onside or not. I love this goalkeeper. He is amazing. Today, he kept us in the game when the dial was rough, and then he ensured that we did not even concede. Going forward, I thought that our attack was very, very wonderful. In terms of Lamine Yamal, he was sensational today. Oh my days, was he putting on the style. He turned the Villarreal defense inside out. And honestly, I don't blame this guy Renato Vega for losing his cool. Like, listen, this 18-year-old kid who was making you look like a bum. Like, I get it. He was really putting, like, he was, every time Lamine Yamal was on the move, it was like something was about to happen. He would sit two players on the ground. He was making them look bummish, and I can understand when they like, we cannot have that. But that head loss was totally generational. And in a game when I felt like Villarreal, even though at this point Barcelona had already taken the lead 1-0 through a Rafinha penalty kick, I felt like Villarreal could have very well come into it, because like I said, the best chances of that first half, they were creating it, they were going through on Barcelona's goal. So definitely, if they had stayed all 11 men on the pitch, I was sure that at least one time they would have been able to convert one of those chances. So thank you to Renato Vega for having a generational head loss. Was it a direct red card? Absolutely, there was not a question of that. It was like it was not even intended to play the ball. It was not anywhere near the ball. He was just upset that this kid has been turning him inside out, and he wanted to leave one on the kid, and he overdid it, and he just put his teammates in a very, very bad position. But that says a lot too about Lamine Yamal, and the fact that Lamine Yamal was having a game. Now, I cannot talk about Lamine Yamal without talking about Rafinha, because Rafinha on the other side for Barcelona, he was sensational. Now, there was something when I was watching this game, the commentator kept asking, what position did Rafinha play? And it's a very good question, because the way Rafinha is able to interchange and move around the pitch, sometimes he starts at the left-hand side of the pitch or as a left winger, and then you see him central, you see him change position with Fermin Lopez in that 10, and then you see him exchange position with Lamine Yamal as well. He was just everywhere, anywhere he needed to be to ensure that he's contributing the most impact to the attack. He's doing what needs to be done, and this is something a really good reason why I love Rafinha. I thought that he was a very, very good player today for Barcelona. I mean, he did have that one shot that, that was quite top bins. It was just unlucky that he hit the bar and come out. But, if he had scored that, it would have been a very, very sensational goal for Barcelona. But again, he continues to do all the good things well. Ferran Torres did not have a good game, and I don't think that Fermin Lopez had a good game as well. In fact, I think that aside from Lamine Yamal, Joan Garcia, and Rafinha, a good chunk of the Barcelona starting 11, they were probably still at the Christmas party, which we held a few days ago. They just didn't look like themselves. But somehow, we have been able to not concede. So the game does end with Barcelona 2 and Villarreal 0. This means that Barcelona retain their 4-point lead against Real Madrid, putting them top of the La Liga. They will be the winter champions, which is something we love to see going into 2026, to continue to put that pressure on Real Madrid. Our next game, though, is going to be against Espanyol, which is already going to be chaotic. It's going to be crazy, only because of Joan Garcia for Barcelona, who was an Espanyol player last season. Is going to be so intense. But I'm so happy that even though we did not have the best performance today, from a defensive perspective, of course, even though we did give Villarreal a lot of chances to try and make something of the game, that we have walked away from this game not only with 3 points but with a clean sheet. And that has been it from me for this game. I would leave you guys to it. Let me know what you thought about this game in the comment section. Who stood out to you? Who did not impress you? Let me know all of that, and then I will see you guys next time. Bye.